So IDW has spilled the beans and has shown us what we're going to be getting for next year as it partakes to our Transformer toys and the story. For those that don't know, the ongoing IDW Transformer universe that was started more than a decade ago has finally concluded. 3 different books, Unicron, the Optimus Prime book, and the Lost Light book, all concluding and ending the ongoing story that's been going on since the beginning. And now they're going to be doing a fresh reboot into what we didn't know at that time. Now we have a pretty clear idea of what they're going with, and it makes total sense. We had this discussion a while back about how the Bumblebee movie represents a new beginning and what's going on with like a leaving of Cybertron kind of thing in the beginning of the war. The
Cyberverse cartoon.
The Transformers Cyberverse cartoon doing the exact same thing. And then we even look at the mainstay toy line in that of War for Cybertron Siege, and it's the same thing. But the great thing here, and this is something that I've been saying for a while, is that it looks like the IDW comic book here is going to be based off of the Transformers Siege stuff. Just by the choice of characters, the choice of art, the choice of design. This reminds me a lot of what's going on with Transformers Siege right now. I mean, you look at the art and you see the Starscream, you see the Soundwave, you see the Megatron, you see there's a Prowl. Like, it's clearly, this is going to be an ongoing series using those designs, and that's great. And I'll say especially why that's great, because we had tons of people that were fans of IDW's ongoing series, regardless of at what point you jumped in, whether it be the beginning or All Hail Megatron, or or whether it be the Lost Light or Robots in Disguise or More Than Meets the Eye with James Roberts. There were so many unique designs that were there, brand new redesigns of these old Generation 1 characters, and no official toys to jump into. Yeah, they throw you the odd skids and drift and blur. Once in a while, Hasbro would throw out a toy that's kind of based off of that design. But in general, most of those designs you had to turn to third party, if even third party would do it. And even then, third party wasn't exactly covering the gamut either. Mm-hmm. So you were kind of left like going like, wow, I really love this comic, I really love the fiction, but I can't own the representations of those characters. And that kind of sucked. It was something that I really appreciated looking back at Dreamwave, was you could read the Armada comic by Dreamwave, which is a really good comic, and go, wow, I really like some of these characters, and you could go out and buy them. All those characters had toy representations. So what's cool is that now we finally again have a comic book where all the characters here, you could go out and buy the toys based off of those designs. And that's a welcome change. I think it's number one, I think it's Hasbro realizing that, you know, while the success of the comic books don't make up a large portion of their final sales and stuff, I think they did recognize that, you know, wow, this More Than Meets the Eye and Lost Light book is really popular, and all these third-party companies are making this Lost Light Rodimus figure or this Lost Light, you know, Swerve figure, and that's something we could have taken advantage of. You know, that's money that we could have made. Instead, we gave third-party guys the opportunity to make it instead.
Yeah.
So this is really cool. I mean, we again, look at the Megatron, you look at the Optimus. The Optimus, the rumors that people are saying is this is what the Leader Class one is going to be based on. It clearly shows that this is the story that they're going to go with. And I mean, the solicitation, have already said that it's pretty much talking about the war on Cybertron before they left. You know,
yeah,
so
I also think that we've mentioned this a few times before in our archive that, you know, what would be really good is if everything was kind of on the same page. So regardless if you jump from the toys to the TV show to the movie to the comic books, it's this one kind of not cohesive story, but the same kind of story that it's kind of, but like in different ways. So like the Cyberverse is like dealing with Bumblebee's broken memories and what he's supposed to do on Earth. And then, like, maybe the comics is dealing with what's going on in Siege, basically, you know? And then the toys is your representation of what's going on. And I feel like that's more helpful to everybody. So, like, if you're a kid, you graduate from Cyberverse, then you get a little bit older, you can watch the comic books, you could read the comic books, and, you know, watch the movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit more of a cohesive ecosystem.
Well, it's what Michael Kelly from Hasbro, he's the vice president of global publishing, said. He was just like, this whole overall span of stuff is pretty much to get unfamiliar audiences with the Transformer lore. This is a jumping point for everybody, regardless of if you jump into just the toys, it's the beginning. If you jump into the Bumblebee movie, it's the beginning. If you jump into Cyberverse, it's the beginning. There's nothing that you like does, you know, it always helps to know past brands for all the fan wank stuff in the background. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure.
But at the same time, you're not missing anything out from a storytelling standpoint. You're not lost there. So this is pretty good, and I appreciate this a lot because, again, as a fan reading IDW's books all these years, it really sucked just seeing all of these great designs that would just never have a toy at all, like zero. And third party, I mean, they were only able to fill the gaps where they could. You know, if you read a book and then third party reads at the same time a fan reads it, and then they could only implicate, you know, so quickly and throw together a design and put it to final product so fast. Hasbro, because they work in tandem with these companies, whether it be IDW or whatever, they're able to
flame toys, you know.
Yeah, they're able to plan stuff way in advance. Like, you could have a character debut in the comic, and then a month later in SDCC, they'll be like, oh, by the way, here's the toy based on that character. Like, everything could be planned way in advance, and that stuff could work out. Where IDW, it's like we'd see, oh, wow, this character Swerve is really cool, and you'd have to wait like a year to 2 years before you got an IDW Swerve with his gun or his, you know, his bar accessories. Like, it's a different thing. And again, I always want to give the money to Hasbro if I can over third party, because I want to let them know, do this. This is what I like. Do this. When there's stuff I don't like, I don't give them my money. When they charge too much money, I don't give them my money. You know what I mean? Like, I will protest where I feel that they shouldn't be doing something. But when it's something they do, I will give them the money, because that way they could continue to do that. You know, stuff like the Pretender shells, the MicroMasters, that's stuff that I want. Yeah, maybe other listeners don't want that, but that's stuff that I want, and thus they'll get my money for it. Where, you know, if they do other things, that's just like, you know, passive, and I'm just like, can't be bothered. But this is what I want. I want that when I'm reading my comics, I could go, wow, I really like, you know, Chromia. I really like Chromia. I'm going to go buy the Chromia toy because I really dig the way she's depicted here. Or I really like, you know, I don't know, Starscream and the way this Starscream's depicted. So I want to go out and buy that figure, where that was just not the case before. So this is really cool. We're going to get way more information as time progresses. The plan is that this is all set to arrive in March of 2019. So be sure to go to your local comic book stores and pre-order your copies and get everything lined up and all your different covers and subscription covers and stuff. So you could let even IDW know, hey, this is cool. This is what we want. And then Hasbro could work in tandem with them, and we could get some cool fiction for the toys that we're buying.